I know I have problems talking loudly.
I don't know why either. It makes no sense. You're home. You'll be in your room. You're like, Dylan!
Well, that's because that's different. Like
Chelsea!
I'm purposely yelling. Yelling is different than talking loudly.
You have mouse and, like, siren.
So it's an interracial dating thing, huh? Going on 2 years.
See, that's the thing, is that, like, I feel like you think of it differently than I do. Because I'm actually reminded of a scene in This Is Us a couple episodes back. Because remember, like, Kevin is dating...
The cousin?
Yeah, and there's, like, a scene where he's, like, buying some stuff at a gas station or something like that. And he's, like, there paying, and his, like, soon-to-be girlfriend is, like, kind of behind him, but, like, not... You know what I mean? She's, like, right here. And she tries to put her stuff, like, on the table with his, and the woman behind the desk is like, oh, ma'am, you're gonna have to wait your turn. And he's like, oh, we're together. And she's like kind of, like, reacts weirdly.
And he doesn't
notice. And then she, like, has a conversation with him about that later on. She's like, the woman behind the desk was racist, and, like, she was talking about it to somebody else. She was like, he didn't even notice. Like, that's kind of how I feel most of the time. I don't really feel like I notice it.
Well, you don't. I can definitely say emphatically that you don't. We've been in certain
Which I'm kind of thankful for, to be honest, because I feel like it would just stress me out. Make me self-conscious and paranoid.
Paranoia. Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because, if someone is being treated unfairly, I would like to know the root cause of it personally, and if it's something that I have no control over, like being black, and having a white boyfriend. I mean, I guess I have control over that part, but who cares? I like to know, so then I can react accordingly.
Yeah.
Like, so then I can talk to management, or I can file a complaint with, corporate or whatever, for those reasons. But it's actually, on This Is Us, that actually is very true, that a lot of black women do have hesitancy with interracial dating for that reason, because it can be an emotional labor explaining those things, or being treated like you're paranoid about, certain settings, or there were certain instances, situations that we were in.
The country concert.
Yeah, what was that? El Cajon?
Yeah.
And I knew right away, like, as soon as before we even parked, I said, "Oh my God, this is like Redneck City."
To be fair, I knew about that one too.
I knew it was Redneck City.
Yeah, it's not all Redneck City, but it's not as let's say progressive as the rest of San Diego. And it was a country concert.
Yeah, a country concert.
That's bad, anywhere.
I think I maybe saw one other black person, maybe one, if I recall correctly. But being there, my hesitation wasn't necessarily being black, but being black with a sword strapped to my back was very worrisome for me. As you know, like, I've been stuck with that sword before, a plastic one, a child's toy. I've had the cops called on me. But at El Cajon, like, you're walking around with your gun, no problem.
Fake gun.
Fake gun, but it looked real.
Yeah.
It looked
completely real.
It looked as real as my sword.
It was designed to look real, to be part of the cosplay.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, I'm thankful that the security guard who was working that day happened to be cool. Because that could have gone.
Police officer, actually.
Well, I know, but he was working as a security guard to make extra money, like, on the side. But he was a real cop.
Yeah.
So, like, he was armed and all that stuff, and he, like, knew the law. And I mean,
Like that, he knew the law, he knew the show.
It could have been bad if like it was not a real cop. It was just like some random like security officer who was just like a dick or whatever and decided to like go with the crowd or whatever. Like they wanted us kicked out and it, he would go with it or something. That guy actually had some balls and was, just basically explaining to everybody who complained, like, that's not illegal and shut up.
Well, I with your fake, real-looking gun versus me with my sword.
Yeah.
And I was sick that day. I wasn't even, like, moving swiftly or anything.
Wait, and you weren't even holding it. It was in the fucking sheath.
Yeah. Nobody reported you. Nobody cared. No. I don't know. I can deal with certain things. The sword thing, especially after Palm Springs, made me consider like hanging up that particular cosplay, or at least the sword. It's it was rough.
Yeah.
But it's.
I was actually prompted to like say to the guy because like he was standing, over here, and I just looked at him like, it's fake, right? And before I could even like get the sentence out, he was just like, I know your gun's fine, which I thought was like kind of fun. The security officer
at Oklahoma.
Yeah, okay. Which I thought was kind of funny because I was like, really? Like, I mean, it looks real. Like, you're not concerned at all that it might be real. Like, he didn't even, but he knew the show. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah,
it could have been bad if it was somebody who, like, A, wasn't a real cop, and B, maybe was, like, a racist cop, and then, like, C, somebody who didn't know the show on top of all that, you know what I mean? Like, we kind of got lucky with the person who happened to be there at that time. That could have been way worse.
Yeah. I've been very lucky and very fortunate in that respect, excluding that incident last year. I have two different swords. I have a plastic one and I have a metal one. It's dull. You can like squeeze your palm around and nothing will happen. And I walked in through the first, round of security, got in just fine. No one said anything. And I think I was walking around the party for a good 7 minutes. And I was at the front desk with my boyfriend asking questions. And I was accosted by the security guard. Now, keep in mind, I've had people call the police on me with both swords, plastic and otherwise. Events or not. Hey, Alyssa. I've had police call, I've had people call the police on me. So I'm used to, people asking questions about the sword, whatever. This particular gentleman, his name's Manuel, put his hands on me. He grabbed my shoulder and pulled my hair so he could take my sword out. Now, if he had tapped me on the shoulder and said, miss, can I inspect your weapon? Or, this isn't allowed. Something normal. It's fine. It's not what he did. He invaded my personal space. He took my private property. He pulled the whole thing out and was calling all kinds of security like I was some sort of, mad woman or intending someone harm. And I'm still really upset about it. It's one thing to have, people call the police. Okay, fine. People ask questions. Okay, fine. I don't like people touching me, putting their hands on me. And that's what he did. And I talked to the head of security. I talked to, management and owner of the hotel. And, we're going to reprimand him. We won't be asking him back to this event. Okay, fine. And kind of find out this dude's still walking around. And I told him, I was like, I feel like if I looked different, I was some little blonde woman, or he wouldn't have handled it that way, but he did, and I don't know. I'm still really upset about it. Still really upset about it. So I just wanted to, I don't know, wanted it down for the record. I literally just wrote an article about having the cops calling on me. Like I'm like I said, I'm used to. I'm just not used to people touching me. So, but guess that's what it is. And old dude's still walking around, and I can't focus on the party or posing for pictures. I can't get out my head. I wasn't hurt terribly or anything like that. Anything that can't be undone, but
that guy was just a moron. I mean, like he was just a fucking moron. Like
it was also.
Clearly had like no training. I mean, like you would think that like being a security guard, like you would know that like there's a difference between.
He wouldn't have done that to a little white woman.
Probably not.
He wouldn't have. It's more than just being a moron or a train.
Palm Springs though. Palm Springs is so liberal.
Yeah, there are stupid people and there are untrained people, but then there's another level to it when you're talking about a racist person and how things are handled. He didn't even ask.
Well, you didn't know the definition of assault. Like, you don't go up to somebody and just, like, rip something off of their attire. That's assault. Like, you would think that the security guard would know at least, like, the basic definition of that before getting that job. So,
yeah.
That's bizarre.
Also, I mean, even cop stuff aside, there's also been like certain instances of disrespect, just blatant disrespect, when people know that I'm with you. That was also Palm Springs, actually. Walking into the party, and didn't you even say that you were? That's my girlfriend Jill, or something like that. And the lady basically pushed like in front of me, like didn't even care.
Oh, yeah. She asked me if it was like right after we had like gone through security, and she came up to me and she was like, "Oh, you look like," and then she like named some actor on some show that I don't remember. You recognize the name?
Supernatural or something.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay." And she was like, she said something flirtatious. I don't even remember. It was so long ago now. And I was just like, "Oh yeah, okay." And I was like, "This is my girlfriend," just trying to like shut her down because like she, you know what I mean? Like I could tell she was going to keep going with it if I didn't shut her down. And I was like, "Yeah, this is my girlfriend Jill," and she was like, "Oh hi," and then she just like kept going with it, like acted like you weren't there. And I was just like, man, the ovaries on her. Yeah, that was blatantly disrespectful, and I was like,
ready to snatch her wig off and her edges with it, which is why I walked away, because I knew where I was.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
she was probably hammered, but still, it just seemed like weird that she wouldn't like realize the hint when I was like, "Oh yeah, this is my girlfriend."
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, and then there's people who, even in a friendly tone, ask if we're actually together.
That happens all the time.
Yeah,
that happens absolutely all over the place.
Yeah,
every con we go to, we get messages about it. There's comments about it, like on all of our profiles and stuff. Yeah,
it's only been like 2 years.
Yeah,
it's kind of eye rolling at that point, but all that happens, like all of that's due.
I like to fuck with them. Like I just like to be like, no, we just travel together to cons all over the country. Just stare at them. Nod. Just wait for them to realize how dumb of a question that is. We just coordinate our schedules to make videos. She flies here, we make videos, but we're not together. It's a huge investment for such a grand farce. Yeah, I know.
It can be an emotional labor, but I've been in interracial relationships before, so it's like it's not new for me. It's just kind of it can be exhausting, but it wasn't like a cold shock or something I wasn't prepared for. So, I mean, what I can say is that I appreciate now, and I think it was a learning curve a bit, but I appreciate now that if I say that I notice something or something's off, that I'm not treated like, like it's like I'm paranoid or crazy or something. And it's good to have it as a blind spot to not fully be aware of it. I can understand that. Like sometimes, what's that phrase? I'm like totally like
Ignorance is bliss.
Yes, sometimes it is. But when you do see it, or when one does see it, it's nice to know. It's nice to have that support. I don't anticipate things changing anytime soon. Uh, they say, "Oh, racism will die with old." No, there's new ones every day, young ones, college ones, high school, whatever. And but it's good to have that support system. I think I made a fine choice.
Me too. I'm just kidding. I made a fun choice.
Yeah, yeah, you did. I agree. Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't get you.
Is that good?
Yeah. My throat's kind of scratchy right now, so please bear with me. Also, I'm sure I sound a little bit nasally or something. Should have brought some water. Should have brought some cough drops. Oh my god. Excuse me. Super sexy, right?
Yep.
Mm.
Boner-tastic.